What's up, guys? I've just seen this article shared by IGN earlier today about the top 25 best horror games ever made. And I was curious to watch the list and share my thought. I've been a fan of survival horror for a long time now. It's my favorite type of games. Well, for single player game, uh, I mostly play multiplayer games, but when I do dabble in single player games, these are really the type of games I like the most. That and RPGs, I guess. So I'd say I would consider having like a decent amount of experience. So yeah, I'm just curious to comment on the list. So some information about me. My first introduction to the genre was I think Resident Evil 2, the OG. I didn't play it actually, but I was kind of young back then. I was like 8 years old, and I would watch my older brother play the game, and I just felt in love. Like, I love watching. I didn't want to play, I was a little kid, way too scared, but I really love watching the game. So, yeah, before I go down the list, what I would like to see, I would like to see in the top three, maybe the top five. I would like to see Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 7. These for me are the best horror game because we gotta make a difference, right? There's horror and then there's action horror. I actually personally prefer action horror, and for me, action horror would be like Resident Evil 4 and Dead Space would be like the perfect example because they're survival horror, but like there's you get enough ammo and resources and weapon, and there's like a large amount of enemies that it's like the line between like action and horror is like the perfect blend for me. While Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 7 are really more towards horror. So this is a list about horror games. So I don't know. I haven't seen the article at all. I just as soon as I saw the list, I thought about doing this video. So I don't know how they will define it. I guess we will know soon. But yeah, I would like to see because my favorite game of the genre is Resident Evil 4, but I would not consider it the best horror game. That's why I say I would put Resident Evil 2 remake and Resident Evil 7 above that because they're really the best horror game I've played. Um, I guess Alan Wake 2 should be there. It was great. Dead Space 1, Dead Space 2, Silent Hill has to be there. What else? There's some games that I don't want to see there. I don't want to see Resident Evil 5 and 6 because for me they're not horror games at all. Like they went way too far into action in those games. So I don't want to see them over there. Now I'm probably forgetting a bunch of game, but yeah, let's just go down with the list. So let's see their definition actually. Horror means different things to different people. Some people like clowns, some are troubled by the unknown of a dark space under the bed, and some, my old flatmate, will run away if a wooden spoon gets too close to brushing against their skin. The same broad range of fears can be found in video games as well. Sure, there are jumpy moments in The Last of Us Part 2, and Bloodborne's Jan Harm is dressed to the nines in gothic horror, but here we're looking at those entirely scary experiences. Those games that chill us to the core and are purely horrific, yet brilliant. With an emphasis placed on what we find the scariest, here are the 25 best horror games of all time. So, after reading this, there's no way Resident Evil 5 and 6 are there. There's just no way. Dead Space 3, there's no way it's there. Dead Space 3 was basically the Resident Evil 5 and 6 of the Dead Space series. Like, they went full out on the action. It was really bad. It's a shame, really. And it's funny when they mention Bloodborne. Bloodborne is actually probably the only Souls-like I haven't played yet because I don't own a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. I'm still waiting for the port. But I've played every other Souls game from software, and to be honest, like there are moments in Dark Souls 1 where it felt horror to me. If you play the game, like when you get to the first like shrine, Firelink Shrine, I think the name, or maybe I'm confusing with the space. Dark Souls 3, but whatever. Like the first safe area, I guess. if you like, the game is pretty open by then. You have like a three options to where you go, and the game doesn't tell you where you should go. And I made the wrong decision of going like towards the where you see the skeleton, like toward the south of the map. And like just those skeletons were super hard, and I guess that was the way of the game of telling you like, hey, maybe you should not go there yet. But I went, and I went so deep into this cave, and then there's no fast travel to the game, unlike the others. So I forced my way too far into that cave, like that dungeon or whatever. And at some point, I was like, "There's no way! Like I have to go back." So I remember very clearly this feeling, like I was the way back felt very horror because everything was so fucking scary. I had nothing on me. Like that game felt survival horror, and it was a really good experience. Anyway, probably because I'm a sadistic freak who likes horror game, but let's go. Let's just go on the list. So the first one, well, the first of the list, so the 25, Stay Out of the House. I have never heard this game, like at all. It was released 2 years ago. First time I hear about this. I don't know. Is there like any just a minute? Can I get out of this? I guess I can. So yeah, no comments. I wish I could tell more about this, but I've never heard of this. Okay, Slender. I've actually played this. It was pretty popular, like yeah, a long time ago when I was released. There was like, it was pretty trendy to play this game. It was okay. I think it was just for the novelty. It was scary. I mean, for sure. But I think it was just way too simple. Like once you played a couple hours and you sort of understood the game, it's just there's no replayability. I don't think it aged well. Like, but yeah, it was for its time pretty unique. I will say that. It's worth experiencing. Oh, and I just thought about another game that came out shortly after this. It's Amnesia. For sure, Amnesia is gonna be on this list for sure. The Evil Within, yeah, that was a good game. So, The Evil Within is basically made by I don't yeah, I didn't want to destroy his name. So, by the creator of the Resident Evil series, basically. He went on after Resident Evil 4, he left Capcom and he went on to create his own studio and he created Evil Within. I think it was his first project after leaving Capcom, but maybe not. Probably 2014? I thought it was before that. We definitely did something else between Airy 4, because Airy 4 was like in 2004, so there's no way he did nothing for 10 years, but I really like this game. It was definitely more survival horror than action horror, but like not too far towards horror. I think it was close enough to the hybrid that I like. Definitely scary. I think that this is in the opening of the game, like you just gotta sneak around this dude, this butcher, like monsters, and just a really nice. The story was pretty disturbing. Like it's definitely a good game. I would recommend it. The gameplay is pretty similar to Airy 4. I mean, Resident Evil 4 basically changed the genre. Like it was the first to really use this over-the-shoulder gameplay, which is still to this day my favorite. So it influenced so many games afterwards. Oh yeah, I'm happy to see this one. I think the second one should be on the list too. I think so. Alright. Keep going. Condemned Criminal Origin. Yeah, I'm happy to see this. This game is not really known. I think if you didn't get like an Xbox 360 in the first year of its release, I don't think you've ever heard about this game. It was a pretty niche. It was a launch title of the Xbox 360. I would say I see some similarities between this one and Evil Within. Not gameplay wise, but just the areas, the art style. For me, they were a bit similar. This game was first person if I'm not mistaken. It was pretty good. I don't think it aged well. I would probably never play this game again. But for its time, it was pretty good. It was a good experience. I think there was a heavy emphasis on melee combat. So if you'd never played this game, I would say it's worth experimenting once. But my gut feeling tell me that it didn't age really well. But good game. Happy to see it. I completely forgot about this game. Manhunt. I've actually never played this one, but like the when I thought about when I was younger and watching my older brother play RE2, I also watched him play Manhunt. It seemed pretty good. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about this game. It's too far away in my memory, but it was okay. Not too surprised to see this on this list. And I've just remembered about another game that I hope to see on this list. Parasite Eve. I'm French Canadian, by the way, so I know this. I don't say this name well. Parasite Eve, not sure, but a game made from Square Enix. It was like a mix of survival or like Resident Evil meets Final Fantasy, basically. That was a really good horror game, and I wish they would like remake this game or just make another one. So I hope to see this on this list. Inside. Never heard of this game. You know, we watched like... I wish they would show more than just like... one picture. Sadly. But yeah, never heard about this game. A Visage. Never heard about this game, but I do like these pictures. This is trippy. Makes me want to try the game. Guess I'm gonna take some note. Visage, it was 5 years ago. Is it on Steam yet? Huh. I'm curious. I want to see if it's on Steam. It's not on my wish list on the store. Visage. Seems like the type of game that you don't really fight back, like that you just have to escape. I don't really like those games, by the way, like the horror game, like the scary horror game where you just gotta hide and escape, where you can't really fight back, like Slender and Amnesia. Like, it's okay, but it's really not my favorite. I'm also not really a fan of the fixed camera angle of the older Resident Evil title. I prefer, you know, RE4, Dead Space, like, are my favorite game. I like to be able to fight back a bit. But I'm just gonna add this to my wish list. It's actually on sale right now for the spooky season. First-person psychological horror game. Slow space atmospheric world that combined button. Can you? There's good reviews. Actually, you know, let's watch some videos. Let's see what it's all about. Really like this scene. Yeah, it seems like a very atmospheric game. I doubt there's a lot of combat. Definitely a indie game. Okay. I mean, I'm curious. You know, we'll see. But that's the thing with horror games. Like when you treat the line between like you got action horror game here, and you got like survival horror slash just horror, and the more you go towards horror, the less replayability there is because it's more about like the unknown, the mystery, finding out what's going on, and that's fine for a first playthrough. But then you kind of never play the game again because it loses all of its magic. While an action horror game like RE4, I just love the gameplay so much. Like, and I don't usually replay games. I don't usually rewatch movies and series. I don't really do that. But like, I've done RE4, like the OG, about 20 times, and I'm on my fourth or fifth playthrough of the remake now, and I would do more. Same with Dead Space. Like, I haven't played Dead Space nearly as much, but I know I will like play it a couple more times. And the gameplay is just so fun. And I much prefer that. Even for a first playthrough, I still prefer the action or like the gameplay is just so nice. I like to move around the map, use the map to an advantage, like being like the tension of like the enemies. But it's a good in between because definitely like Resident Evil 5 went way too far and 6 was just complete garbage if you ask me. But okay, we're finding stuff for the future. Let's keep going. Phasmophobia. I've never played this game. I mean, I've heard of it. It was really popular a couple of years ago. Seems okay. This game focused on yeah, like multiplayer. Didn't seem like my type of game, but yeah, did buy it. Like I've never played this type of game as well, like the 4v1 type of game. Um, I think the idea is nice. I think I would like it if I tried. Until Dawn. I read about that game recently. Yeah, it's a pretty recent game. Oh, it's a remaster, so it's not a recent. It's a okay. I've never heard about it before the recent remaster. Oh, it's on PC too. I thought it was PlayStation exclusive until now. But from what I've seen, I mean, I'll put it on my wish list. But from what I've seen, it seemed like, as with many Sony licensed games, I feel like most Sony games, like God of War, Uncharted, Until Dawn, many others, it's more like a movie, like an interactive movie. And I don't really like that. And that's the feeling I had when I watched some videos of this game. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, I really like The Last of Us, which is another Sony game that is pretty, you could say it's like a interactive movie as well, but at least the gameplay parts where you explore and fights were pretty good. Like, and I don't mind like some cinematics here and there. Like, I kind of like it too, but uh, I'll need to. I mean, the art style that really feels like Resident Evil Village, by the way. The art style of this. I mean, the game visually is stunning. We'll give it a shot one day. All right. Alan Wake 2. I thought it would be higher than this. I haven't completed the game yet. I played for like 6 or 7 hours, something like that. Uh, I liked it. I felt like the opening was way too slow. I think for the first 3 hours, you basically watch a movie. Then again, but once the game kind of started, it was starting like when the last time I played, like the part I was playing was very nice, very fun, and I would assume that for the rest of the game, and it's a pretty long game, I've heard, so I would definitely go back and finish that game. But the thing is, because of the opening, like it's so slow and like it takes literally hours and hours, and for sure you can go like faster if you know where you have to go and like playthrough, like second playthrough and such. But I still think I will never play that game again because the opening is so slow. So I prefer when games like just kick in a bit faster and they let you like discover what's going on and the mystery, the lore, the story as you play, you know? I think Resident Evil 4 does this. I mean, Resident Evil 4 is the GOAT game. I'm sorry to bring it back again and again, but like you play right off the bat, you play, you slowly find out what's going on as you play. I mean, yes, you play Alan Wake 2 at the start, but you really just move your like character around, you press button, you hear like discussion, like might as well be a movie. Like but I'm not dissing the game, like it was still interesting, like doing that for the first time. It's very the game felt very psychedelic, at least the part I played. It's a trip, it's a mind trip, and I like that. It's a good thing. So yeah, happy to see this and can't wait to finish the game. Soma. If I did I play Soma? Yeah, I did. So that's a co-op game, right? Uh, or I think I'm confusing it with another game. Is it even in my library? No, it's not. Okay, what game am I confusing it with? Let me find it real quick. I was confused with. I have so many games. It's a game on Steam that you would play co-op. I would say it's a horror game. Where the fuck is it? Was it GTFO? Yeah. Okay. For some reason, I thought GTFO was Soma and vice versa. So Soma, is it the same dev? No, it's not. I don't know why the confusion. So I've heard about this game, never played. Not much to say. Never heard of Clock Tower as well. Oh, that's an indie game from 1995. Huh. On PlayStation. Was that game even released in America? No. Okay. Because when I saw the Japanese like characters, I'm like, I've never heard of this game and it's Japanese, so it was never released here. Hmm. And one other. Well, not much to say. Forbidden Siren 2. Never heard of this either. It's on PlayStation 2 in 2006. So that was released. I think the PS3 was released like toward the end of 2006, so that was a late release. Okay, first Resident Evil takes the 11th place. So for the Resident Evil, I guess we definitely will see remake of 2. We definitely gonna see 7. That might be the only Resident Evil that they will show. But I would not be surprised if they show Resident Evil 4, maybe 8, but I would not agree with 8. I didn't feel like Resident Evil 8 was very horror. It was a good game, but beside like one part of the game. Okay, I'm surprised they put the original instead of the remake. I think the remake is just flat out better. Well, there's no remake so far, so maybe they exclude remakes. We'll see. I don't think they should exclude remakes. Personally, remakes are a completely new game. Some remakes are just rip off, like in Cash Grab, but in the case of RB2 remake and RB4 remake and Dead Space remake, like they're just really, they literally just improve the game in every single way. We'll see, we'll see. Five Nights at Freddy's. I've seen this, but hmm, didn't seem very nice from the little I've seen. Maybe let's not judge too much, but I don't have much to say about this. Resident Evil 4. Okay, so that's funny because that's the release date of the remake, but that's a picture from the original. Let's see what they have to say if they talk about the original or the remake. So, oh, spoiler. And that's stupid, by the way. That's not a horror game at all. Like, that has no reason to be there. That's like the most action horror you can have. Like, it's. Anyway, by the time Resident Evil 4 rolled around, The played out formula of the series was in need of a renovation. Not only did okay, so they seem like to be talking about the OG then. Well, they seem to be excluding remakes, which I think is a mistake for their article, but whatever. So I have nothing to say about this. I don't like Left 4 Dead. It's just way too arcadey. There's no aura at all. Like whatever. Outlast. I forgot about this game. Definitely a very scary game. Like I mentioned before, it's you can't really fight back in this game. You just gotta escape and whatnot. So that makes it scary. That makes it R. Does that make it fun to play? For some, for me, never was able to finish it. Same thing with Alien. It's similar. You can fight back a little more, but it's a similar trend. Dead Space. Dead Space was really good. Directly inspired by RE4. Like you can see the influence. Like if Resident Evil 4 did not exist, Dead Space would not exist. But it was one of the better imitation. I mean imitation. It's different enough, but like it was one of the better game inspired by Resident Evil 4 for sure. Very good game. The remake was awesome. Um my my biggest complaint, I mean not complaint, but like critique about Dead Space. I think there's too many instances of fights where because you're in a ship, right? You're in a big ass ship in the middle of nowhere, and most, not most, but too many fights are just you fighting against necromorph in a hallway. So, what I liked about RE4, most of the fights, like you can play like you can run around the map. There's several layers. Like you use the map like to your advantages on the fly. Like you just enemies like spawn and then you get a move. You use the stairs. You use the high ground. You need some special awareness, and this gameplay loop is just very fun. And there's some fights like in that space where it's that like it's a big area and you can more or less do the same. But there's way too many fights where you just face to face with some necromorph and all the way and you're just gonna shoot them. And that would be my biggest critique. But beside that, it's a 9 out of 10 game. Very good. One of the best survival slash action horror for sure. PT. Never heard of this. Yep. So we how many games? We just have 3 game left. I mean, for me, considering what we've seen so far, and we just have 3 left, it would be the first would be. I mean, from a purely horror standpoint, I would put Resident Evil 7 first, Resident Evil Remake 2 second, and for third, it's a good question. I mean, if they put like that space in Resident Evil 4, I would put Last of Us. Because for me, like it's not a very scary horror game, but like for me, it's pretty like it's not too far off from Dead Space and Resident Evil 4, like action with a little bit of horror gameplay. I'm very confused. Trying to think what I'm missing. By the way, I don't think they will put Resident Evil 2 remake because they've put 4 in the first one. I know for sure that Resident Evil 7 will be there. For sure, for sure. There's no way it's not there. Okay, let's find out. Amnesia. Okay, I forgot about this even though I mentioned it earlier, but that makes sense. For its time in 2010, it was a very very scary horror game. You can fight back, you just have to like escape, but it did it well. I feel like it did that type of games better than most. So when was Slender? Slender was in So Slender was after Amnesia. I thought it was the other way around. Oh, Amnesia is miles ahead better than Slender, and that game came out 2 years after. So that game was inspired by Amnesia. I thought it was the other way around. Yeah, well, at least Amnesia is much. And oh shit, I just spoiled it. Oh my god, I didn't see the first one, but Resident Evil 2 is there. Thank and Resident Evil 2, and that's actually the remake. So I'm glad they did that. Um, for sure, that's a good choice. It had to be there. Such a great game. Not as much replayability for me, because like I said, it's more horror than action. So once you kind of know the game, it loses the appeal for me. I know it's very popular for the speedrunner because the game is much shorter than RE4, for example. But on that first playthrough, that game was so good. Very horror, like enough action, like enough for me to find it like more enjoyable than Amnesia, for example, or some of the other game. But yeah, I'm glad to see this. And the first one, it should be Resident Evil 7. It really should be. It has to be. It's not. I completely forgot about Silent Hill, but I yet have to play the remake. I yet have to play. I've never played the original either, but that's another game that I saw my older brother play when I was a kid. He was really into survival horror. Um, I've heard very good thing about it. I feel like putting it first because the game came out like 3 weeks ago, right? And how do you say it? Like the recency bias, like because it's recent, it's more in the mind of people. If this list would be made like in 5 years, there's no way it's first. I'm sure it would be on the list for sure, probably in the top five even, but there's no way the game would be first. But it looked very good. Not gonna lie, it looked very good. I will be playing that game very soon. But so they did a top 15, top 50. I mean, that's funny. So they did a top 50 in 2022, and RE7 is the third one. And now they do a top 25, and it's not even. I'm shocked that Resident Evil 7 is not on the list, to be honest. Like, I guess they didn't want to put like too many Resident Evil. That would be the only logical reason why it's not there. But there's no fucking way you do a top 25 hour games ever made and you put this thing, Slender. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I guess that's fine. Like this, you put this and you don't put Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 was the best horror game of the whole franchise. It's not my favorite Resident Evil at all, but horror, I shut my pants playing that game. There's a clip of me losing my shit on my Twitch. I, I'm very disappointed in the no Resident Evil 7. But beside that, it's a decent list. It's a decent list. There's no way you put that in hate place and you don't even mention Area 7. There's just no way. But the top two is pretty good. So there's that. I guess you could say the top five is pretty good. But yeah, I want to see the comments. Like, does anyone talk about Area 7? Anyway, that's it. Just thought that could be interesting to share my thoughts.